Hey, second grade, this is Miss Jackson Smith for math, and this week we're going to be working on something a little bit different. This week is all about telling time. And in this video, we're actually going to just be practicing doing a little bit of a craft to make your own clock. So the materials you're going to need for this video are a little bit different. You're going to need a piece of paper, or if you have one, you could use a paper plate. So you're going to need a piece of paper. You're going to need I have just a piece of paper because that's all I have at home, and a plate or something round that you can trace. You're also going to need something to write with. I chose my markers, but you could use a pen, a pencil, crayons, really whatever you have. And then if you want to make some hands for the clock, you're also going to need some scissors. So go pause the video and get your materials ready, and then when you're ready, press play. All right, so my first step when I make this clock, and if you have a paper plate, just skip this step, but if not, you're going to do this with me. I take my piece of paper, and I take my plate, and I hold it up so that then the plate is kind of in the middle. I'm leaving some space down at the bottom, but I want to make sure that there's space on either side. All right, so I line it up, and then I'm going to trace it with my pencil. That way I don't get my marker on my plate. So I'm tracing, and there you go. That was a super easy way to make a nice big circle. Next, I'm just going to trace that line with my marker. I'm not going to get it totally perfect, but I'm just going to do my best. So I'm tracing around with my marker. You should be tracing it also. Again, if you just have a paper plate, that would probably be a little easier. But there we go. So we've got our circle. All right. The next step is that we're going to do a little bit of folding. So we're going to fold it in half up, and then we're going to fold it in half across. You might call that hamburger and hot dog ways. So first off, we're going to fold it. But the tricky thing is, you're not going to fold so that the lines of the paper line up. You're going to fold so that these lines that you drew, the outsides of your clock, line up. So I'm lining it up. I can kind of see through it. I'm going to line it up just like that and fold it. Then I'll unfold it. And you see I've got half and half. Now I'm going to fold it the other way. So I'm going to fold it across like this, line up my lines, and there we go. So now my clock is in half. It's in half again, and then if we count, we have 4 pieces of our clock. When we break something into 4 parts, that's called breaking it into quarters. Can you say quarters? Awesome. So now our clock is in halves and quarters. I wonder if you remember what number goes up at the top of a clock. Think. I remember. It's 12. So you're going to go ahead and write down 12 up at the top. And before we were on this break from school, I know that we were working on half hours and quarter hours. I wonder if you remember down at the bottom what number goes here for half an hour. If you thought it was 6, you got it right. We've got a 6 down at the bottom. Next up is I'm going to fill in my quarter hours, okay? So when we go over here, this is going to be a 3, and when we go over here, this is going to be a 9. Our next step is to skip count, or sorry, not to skip count, to fill in all the other hours around the clock, right? So it goes from 12, we've got 1, and then we're going to need to count by ones all the way around to 12, okay? So I'm going to fill these in, and I'm just going to make sure they're kind of spaced around evenly. So I'm going to put in a 1, a 2, 3, then next is 4, 5, 6, 7, count it with me, 8, 9, then 10, and 11. I've got a beautiful clock. Doesn't it look so nice already? So usually this is all there would be on a clock, and I went ahead and made some little hour hand and minute hand arrows, and I just cut out some pieces of paper to look like this and colored them in. So I could use these. But I thought there could be one more step that would make our clock a little bit more helpful this week when we're trying to find the minutes. Because we know that when the hour hand points at these numbers, that just tells us what hour it is. But with the minute hand, that minute hand points at these numbers, but it's actually going around 60 minutes, and this would be skip counting by fives. So I'm going to need your help right now to help me skip count by fives to write in the minutes next to the hours, okay? So what does the minute hand, when the minute hand starts up here, what minutes is it? It's 0, 0. So I'm going to take a new color, and I'm going to write 0, 0 up at the top to remind me that the minutes on o'clock are 0, 0. Do you remember what the minutes are when it's 6 o'clock? Or when the minute hand is pointing at the 6, when it's halfway around? If you thought it was 30, you are right. Because half of an hour is 30 minutes, because an hour is 60 minutes, because it would be 60 going all the way around, right? I wonder if you remember quarter hours. When the minute hand's pointing at the 3, that is 15. And I didn't have that much space, so I wrote it really little. And then when it's pointing at the 9, that's 45 minutes. So go ahead and write 45. I'm going to slow down so you can catch up. Now here's the fun part, and I'm going to really need your help with skip counting here. We're going to start up at the 12, and we know that the minutes is 0, 0. Then every number that we go to around here is skip counting by fives, okay? So this is 0 5s, 1 5 is just 5, right? So we're going to write down 5 minutes. So 5, 10, 15, 20, and then what is that one? 25. And we already had 30. What's the next one? 35. And the next one is 40. Then 45. Then 50. Then 55. And then once it gets up here, we never write 60 minutes. We go 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and then it's a new hour. So we would never write down 60 minutes. So you can imagine all those little dots in between. We can go ahead and fill those in too if you'd like. So we could write down 0, and then I'm not going to label them, but I'm going to write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. So that's 60 minutes all the way around the clock. Last step is I'm just going to draw a dot in the middle so that if I'm using those hands that I made for the hours and the minutes, or if I'm just using something like crayons, or you could even use like a little pen cap, really anything to pretend for your hands, you know where to line them up, all right? The one thing I want you to remember when you're making your hour hand and your minute hand is that one of them has to be long and one of them has to be short. Do you remember whether the minute hand is long or if the hour hand is long? Well, I'm going to show you. The minute hand is the long one, the hour hand is the short one. And I did them the same colors on my clock just to help me remember. So the blue is the hours, and it's short, and so it's pointing at the blue numbers. And then the minute hand is long, and the minute hand I did pink so that it could point at the pink numbers, all right? It was so much fun making this clock, and I can't wait to use it with you guys when we are doing our telling time math lessons this week. I hope you're staying safe with your family and that you are having fun working on clocks with me. And I can't wait to do the next video with you. See you soon.